Good morning, Bridge Street Labs. Happy Monday. I want to show a few charts here in just a minute and talk about some upcoming important events this week. But first, let's talk about last week. The market continued to shrug off negative press from the Fed raising interest rates from 4.5% to 4.75% to 5%. With that said, Powell urged investors that the outlook going forward is unknown and future rate hikes could be in store with inflation remaining higher than their usual 2% target rate. Despite all this, the market held up pretty well with all the negative comments and raising interest rates further. But more than likely, the bond market has already started pricing in major rate cuts in the years to come. Let's just make sure to protect our assets and capital this week as the market remains in a tightening range with the higher probability of a breakout in the weeks to come. I want to show you a few charts and then talk about a few major events coming this week to pay attention to. SPX, the SP 500, continues to kind of maintain a micro uptrend as long as 3,800 holds as the most recent higher low. Last week, we saw a series of higher lows outlined with the beautiful trend line that managed to hold 4 times. With the combination of higher lows and lower highs, the market is clearly forming a tightening range here. If the S&P can break 40, 50, 40, 60 range, I would look for a move up to 40, 80, 4,100. I'd say anything over this 4,100 would shift the trend on the micro to an uptrend and call for a retest of 4,150 to 4,200. If the S&P can't break over this 40, 50, 40, 60 range, I would think it would break below the most recent higher low at 3,900. Expect the S&P to move lower to retest 3,850, 3,800. Under 3,800, shift micro trend back into a downtrend and call for much lower lows of 3,750, 3,700. US 100, NASDAQ. The NASDAQ, it continues to be incredibly strong, even despite all these market headwinds, which is showing major rotation back into tech stocks over this past month or so. If the NASDAQ, I'd say, can manage to break over 12,900, 13,000 this week or in the future, this would open the door to retesting 13,500 range. Up here, 13,750 is the previous macro lower high. As you can see here, this would obviously be incredible bullish for tech stocks in the broad market. If the NASDAQ is, I'd say, unable to break over 12,900, 1,300 this week or in the future, I would look for the NASDAQ to move lower to these targets of 12,750 all the way down to 12,000. Anything under 11,750, I'd say on a daily time frame, would shift the micro trend back into a bearish downtrend and would call for much lower prices, targeting around 11,500 to 11,000. The Dow, Jones, we're in a clear tightening range forming here. If the Dow can manage to break back above this previous support term resistance at 32,500, 32,600, I would expect the Dow to move higher. If the Dow is unable to break over this, this could be a potential short, opportunity, definitely. I'd say under 31,500 and the micro downtrend would continue and targets would be much lower. Looking at the VIX here, Vitality Index, it got rejected pretty hard last week off of both $30 and $25 resistance levels. I would expect in the short term the VIX to remain elevated. If it breaks under $20, and I would look for the next support down here at 18. Any break over 2250 should lead us back up to 25 and 27. And now finally the US dollar index, the Dixie. We've put in a nice higher low at 102. compared to the 101 previous. I'd say if 102 continues to hold, I would look at first to retest these resistance levels of 104, 105, and 106. Anything over 106 would shift the trend back into an uptrend and would call for higher prices up here at 108, 110. Anything under a dollar 101 would open the door to further downside or a continuation of our micro downtrend. And the next targets would obviously be about $100, and then I'd target 98 and 96. Enough of the broad market analysis. Back to crypto.